Welcome to Little Birdie Podcast. It's our US PGA Championship edition. I'm your host, Scoot, and I'm joined by Gambler himself, Nick Toprope Tedeschi. How are you, mate?
Could not be better, Scooty. It's major week. Glory's second shot. So anyway, we're heading to one of the great golf courses, Southern Hills Country Club, and one rife with murder and tyranny over the years. We've had death threats in the US Open there in 77. We've had murders in the car park. It's my kind of golf course, Scooty.
It's outstanding, isn't it? It's 100 k's east of Oklahoma City, so it's Josh Giddey country all of a sudden. And Dogga Caridi, Mike Dogga Caridi joins the show. He's our new favourite, and I tell you what, he's very smooth on the podcast. He's sounding great. How are you, Dogga?
I'm excellent, Scoot. Very, very. I'm a bit like Toprope. I'm a bit excited. The second major. It snuck up on me a little bit, but I'm very excited.
I think it's snuck up on everyone. TopSport were a little bit slow with the markets. There's the election. We've just come out of Magic Round. We're betting on everything as usual, but this has got up everyone's skirt. I guess it's probably the lesser known of all the majors, but it's still pretty exciting. You've got Spieth in form. He's run second. You had Rory just bursting home in the US Masters. Scotty Scheffler was just, I guess, nearly a wire-to-wire winner at Augusta. So it's heating up, and obviously Cam Smith's going really well at the moment too.
Absolutely. Yeah, the top of the market is looking primed, and it is a course that looks like the cream will rise. So I think it'd be hard pressed to make an argument that all those boys won't be showing up at some point.
All right, let's talk about the course and the profile of the course. It's Bermuda grass, and they've got some sort of special sort of cooling mechanism so they can play God with how tough it is.
They do. Yeah, they've got hydronics. So a while back, they redid the course. They cleaned it all up, and Gil Hanse took his hand to it, one of the all-time architects of golf courses, and he basically took it back to where it was historically. So little creeks and things that are run through the course, he'd sort of reintroduce those, trim the greens back, and then they put the hydronics in and move some bunkers. So once upon a time, people didn't hit the ball like they do now. So instead of leaving the bunkers at 150 metres, he pushed them out to where they need to be for the guys that are playing it now. But they will. It's a bit like the Masters with their the same sort of systems where they can keep it dry or keep it cool or warm and pump a bit of effort into them, which is good.
And I had a little bit of a phone conference with Big Daddy. He's travelling interstate for a funeral, so condolences there. But he won't be joining the show. But he's expecting higher than normal scoring, and I think it's going to suit the really good pitchers and chippers and scramblers as the mail that he gave me. Would you agree, Dogga?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when you look at the way that grass plays, people that'll be getting in the rough. It's I think Blake I spoke to last night was describing it a little bit as a bit like steel wool. So it's pretty hard to get out of, and you're going to get some flyers. But then around the greens, it's going to be pretty tough to chip on. So you need to be good with around the greens and good with chipping to really make the most of it this week. So I think that's where a lot of people are looking when they're looking for a winner.
Okay. And what about weather? Quick look at the weather or the wind.
The weather reminds me very much of a Melbourne summer. It's going to be about 30-something for Thursday and Friday. It's going to be a bit lighter breeze on Thursday morning and then pick up in the arvo, windy all day Friday. And then about, I think, 6, 7 p.m, they're expecting some thunderstorms and a bit of rain to come through. And then for the weekend, no rain, but drops right back down to about 18, 20 degrees for Saturday, Sunday. So very similar to a Melbourne cool change is what I'm expecting.
Top Work does some of his best work in the Melbourne summer, and once upon a time I did too. But this tournament, it's a little bit different to Augusta. You can find really big roughies can lob into this from sort of out of nowhere. Toprope. There's not many favourites hit the line historically in this tournament.
Yeah, it's been kind of, I guess, a younger players major. Kind of recently, you've had a lot of winners in the 20s. It's been a lot of debut major winners on their kind of first major in the PGA Championship. Of course, we had Phil last year at massive odds. But look, you know, much as we've kind of seen over the last decade, you are still getting the elite of the elite winning. You are getting top 25 players in the world, and that's certainly kind of a key profile that you'd be looking at here in terms of, you can find some good price kind of top shelf players, I guess. So you might be able to find, a Gary Woodland who's won a major before, or some kind of players on the up. But I don't know that we're going to go back to the days of Rich Beam or Sean McKeel or any of those guys kind of bobbing up here. I think there's just too much depth at the top of the field.
Okay, so then we spoke about Spieth earlier and Scheffler, Rory. Who's in the best recent form? I'll start with you, Dogga.
You'd have to say Scheffler. When I looked at the numbers, he stacks up on top. I mean, the guy's, I think he's won 5-6 times in his last 20 starts. That's almost Tiger form in peak Tiger. So you can't argue with it. And when I look at the stats that should suit here, he ticks the boxes in all of them. The only thing I don't love about him is the price. But yeah, the form coming in, I mean, he's got good form coming in. He's had win at the Masters, 18th at the Zurich, 15th last week in, a perfect warm-up. At the Byron Nelson, his last 2 PGAs, he's finished 4th and 8th. Now, it's not the same course, but you'd have to say that's pretty solid form coming in.
I'm just having a look at Big Daddy's model, and he's ranked him favourite. Toprope, thoughts on Scheffler?
Yeah, I can't disagree with Scheffler. Deserved favourite. He's not among my selections, but ticks a lot of boxes. Obviously, his form is absolutely elite. I think there's probably 2 paths to victory here. I think you've either got to be an elite scrambler or you've got to have an elite ball striking game and be able to kind of find as many greens as you can. Obviously, Scheffler ranks 10th in ball striking. He's got the right form to some of the correlation courses. I'm certainly looking at TPC Scottsdale, Bay Hill as 2 kind of courses with kind of similar characteristics. Yeah, he won both this year. So hard to put a knock on Scheffler, but a bit like Dogga. Price maybe a little short for me. And among those kind of top ones, we're talking about form. Scheffler's obviously got the winning form, but it's pretty hard to go past Justin Thomas for consistently excellent form of late. And I think he probably ticks a few more boxes for me.
He's not one I can find. I think he's upset me a couple of times in the past, but Spieth and Rory interest me a little bit. Mentally, they both look in a really good headspace. They're sort of around the mark, a couple of fast finishes of late. Do you think they've got the game to win? I know Spieth's got a very good short game, but is Rory suited here as well?
No. Well, my concern with Rory is that Southern Hills has historically proved a front runner's course. You've got to be well and truly in the mix by kind of Friday to really contend here. And Rory's had a horrid recent history of shocking starts in majors. So I can't have Rory under any circumstances in my life. Yeah, admittedly he's playing very well. I think he's in a much better headspace than he was 12 months ago. But I can't have Rory. And in terms of Spieth, look, I think Spieth's got the upside to certainly win it. The concern with Spieth is, are we going to see that random 4 putt that's going to cost him? Are we going to see a missed 2-footer that's going to cost him? And, his putting has really let him down of late. And I don't know that you're going to find too many tougher greens, particularly looking at slopes and stuff like that, than you are at Southern Hills this week. So, I'm happy to afford Spieth a chance, happy to lay Rory.
And Dogga, would you agree with that sentiment?
Toprope's done his homework. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
He's absolutely bang on. Yeah, look, I think that they've both got form coming in. Rory can't quite seem to just pinch one. The biggest issue that Rory, or the deficiency that Rory has, is in his strokes gained approach, and on small greens you can't miss greens. You're going to be cooked. And so he's going to need to have if he has a great week with his shots into the greens, he can give it a shake. Am I confident he'll do that? Probably not. Spieth's kind of the opposite. He's the one thing you always think about Spieth is he's a great putter. This year he's ranked 175 in strokes gained putting on tour. So that's no good. Now, if he has a week with the putter, which he has done in the last couple of starts, that's the upside you want to see, because that's a deficiency that'll put him right back in the top couple. So I'm exactly the same as Toprope. If I'm having a bet there, it's 100% with Spieth.
And we all sort of fell into Patrick Cantlay, or you guys sort of lured me in. So if you listen to our US Masters podcast, you probably got burnt with Patrick Cantlay. I don't recover from burnings well. Not many people do. Dogga, you first.
No. Yeah, it's me first, because I reckon I've tipped you into him a couple of times. And to be honest, on the data lake that I run each week, he's coming up number 3, but I'm not going to bet him this week. So it probably does mean he wins, because I don't normally catch him. Look, he won his last start. It was the pairs event. It's not an event that I kind of super rate as a definitive. This is going to mean you're going to go on with it. Again, his strokes gained approach is where he's been probably just around the mark. He's around 67, 70 for the season in how he's hitting his irons. He's just more even than anything else. The data says that he's going to do well, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to jump out of the box. So even though he rates well for me, he's not going to be someone that's going to take my money.
And John Rahm, he's a player that was somewhat out of form at Masters, but he's priced well in the market here. He's $13 at TopSport. Thoughts with his recent form?
Yeah, I mean, look, his form's good, but if you go, he won in Mexico in a very, very, very low grade field. And Toprope said it before. The two things you want to do is hit into greens well and putt well. He's ranked 108th in putting and 154 in around the green. So if he misses a green, he's in all sorts of trouble. And his putter's just left him a little bit of late. So again, if he like everyone else with these guys, if they find their best, obviously they can win. But right now, Rahm would be probably one I wouldn't be betting.
Cantlay and Rahm for you, Toprope?
Yeah, agree completely with Dogga. We're singing from the same hymn sheet here. One of the kind of key stats I think is a real strong guide here is your long irons, proximity from 200, approaches from 200 plus, and Patrick Cantlay ranks around 50 in that stat. I'm just not seeing enough from him in his ball striking in his iron game to really consider him, particularly at the price. And I know he's won a fair bit recently. Yeah, he certainly hasn't been regarded as a winner over kind of the last few years. So happy to kind of bar him there. And John Rahm, like absolutely at his best, can absolutely win this tournament, but I cannot have him in his current form with his putter or around the green. So he leads the tour in ball striking, leads the tour in greens and reg. That's all good and well, but you're going to be looking at some pretty small targets here, and I'm not sure that he is well suited. I'm not convinced he has the temperament at the moment as well to really kind of handle a course where I think it's going to be really easy to feel hard done by. You know, you hit a good shot, you're going to get a bad roll off. You're going to end up in a bad spot from what I perceive as a good shot. I kind of would prefer to kind of look more towards your robots than your kind of guys as emotional as John Rahm.
Okay, good point. All right, first round leaders. Let's have a quick look at this market. Odds courtesy of TopSport. This is Dogga's domain. Sick beat at US Masters. I've tried to burn it out of my brain. But the first round leader market for the US PGA Championship is John Rahm, $26, Scotty Scheffler, $26, JT, $29, McIlroy, $29, 31 Spieth, Smith, $34, Morikawa, $34, Cantlay, $34, DJ, $38, Hovland, $38, Xander, $38. So these markets generally mimic the winner market, but a fair few rolls extra. But there's definitely patterns that you can pick up. And Dogga, I'll leave it to you. You're the expert. But tell you what,
the expert.
Well, this is sort of you just love like peeking around the edges. Toprope loves his prop markets, but the first round leader is definitely your forte.
Oh, it's something I love doing just because I know that when I wake up on a Friday morning, our time, I've got something to watch, hopefully. And this week I'll probably have a result by the time I get out of bed because, like I said, with the weather, if it's going to be hot and windy and more windy in the afternoon, I'm going to lean to the people that are out in the morning because they're the guys that are going to get a pristine golf course and they're going to play in less wind. The guys up top, I'll be looking at be Cam Smith, Zalatoris around 40s, and then I'd probably sprinkle a couple at bigger odds just because, like we've talked about before, you're going to get a massive chance of a split pot. So you're going to get cut down number one if you do get the winner and it's shared. Answer at about 80s, Matty Jones at about 126 and Kirk at about 126. I know that the guys played, Cam Smith quoted today saying that it feels very Australian-like the way that they're chipping and putting around the greens. So Matty Jones has a habit of throwing in a good deep score here and there. But if people don't want to go with the weather favours, you can't go wrong with Scheffler. I mean, Scheffler and Cam Smith and Cantlay and Rahm, these guys just tend to throw in unbelievable scores in the first round. But yeah, I'd be shopping the guys that are out in the morning, and you can't go wrong anyone. Like you can pick anyone you like, and you're going to be in it to win it.
I won't be wrapped if it's Cam Smith and Scheffler just out in front. Sort of half ruined my US Masters experience. I had the misses away, I had the remote to myself, and it was I'd seen more exciting Masters, and I was a bit flat. So if these guys go wire to wire and it's a shootout again, I'll be flat as a tack, and I'd assume Toprope would be too.
Yeah, I'll be filthy actually. So not happy at all there. But yeah, I'm with Dogga in terms of the first round. There's nothing better than that first round bet and getting a result the next day. But one of the afternoon crew that I've been looking at, I think, is kind of winding back a bit of form is Jason Day. I know he's probably got the bad draw here in the afternoon, but the key stats I'm looking for here: round one scores in on really long courses. Jason Day ranks 12th in strokes gained. They're kind of among some of the kind of big names that you kind of used to seeing: DJ, Rory, Adam Scott. Other morning, I think Spieth is kind of set for a fast start as well. So here's another one I'll be looking at.
A quick little lad, you could probably see it if you're watching the show from home on our YouTube channel, but Club Tech have jumped on board, and they're Melbourne's golf repair specialists. They're based in Coburg, and they carry a large selection of major brands. So clubtechgolf.com.au, and just enter Little Birdie as the code, and you'll get an extra 10% off. And we might be doing a little giveaway over the next month or so. So if you download the Little Birdie app, you go into the draw to win a set of sticks. So look out for that one. And make sure you head to Club Tech Golf and check them out. They're a new friend of the show, and they do a good job out there at Coburg. So Little Birdie gets you the extra 10% off. Go online, and they also match prices. So if you find something in their shop that is somewhere else, they'll do a deal and make sure you get looked after there. So if you're going to have a swing, like most people do after a major roll round, the golf courses start to get a bit fuller, and hopefully you can have a swing with something from Club Tech Golf. All right, we'll keep marching along. There's no breaks. There's no hooking up with Big Daddy on a faulty or a shifting or a scratchy sort of line here. So we may as well start talking about the serious bets. And as I said earlier, the model that Big Daddy is he relies on, he has Scheffler favourite. He can't talk you out of Rory, but Shane Lowry is the one that's over the odds. So we'll have a quick look at the winner market odds courtesy of TopSport here. And Scotty Scheffler's a $12 favourite, and rightly so by the sounds of things. John Rahm looks more of a lay at the price at $13. Rory McIlroy, $16. JT, $18. Spieth, $19. Patrick Cantlay, $21. Cam Smith looks juicy the way these guys are talking, $22. Matsuyama's the same quote. Xander also on that line. Colin Morikawa is an interesting one. He's won a US PGA tournament. He seems suited from a mug looking at this sort of market. Victor Hovland's there. DJ is a big lay for Big Daddy. Matthew Fitzpatrick is $31. Shane Lowry looks like he has been backed already, 50s into $34. Will Zalatoris is another one that appeals to Big Daddy. And again, for Dogga in that first round leader market at $41. Brooks is out at $46 and unfancied. And then you've got golfers like Joaquin Niemann at 56, and then Max Homer, who's been in okay form of late, 61, and Daniel Berger around the $65 mark. But I guess it's time to get our best roughie and our lay. So who wants to open the batting, Dogga?
Look, my best roughie, if I'm looking at proper odds, it's probably not even someone on the list. And if I'm going proper roughies, I'd be looking at someone like Taylor Gooch again each way, even top 20. Top 20 is about $4, but he's sitting at triple figures. I think he can play well here. The stats stack up pretty well for him. He lives not far away, so he's pretty comfortable in the conditions. He likes a hard golf course, so I can see him going well at bigger odds. For the person that I'm going to be betting, it's the guys that you said before that's right in the market that stacks up very well, and that's Cam Smith. So he'd be my top pick, and then Gooch would be my roughie.
Okay, so 100-1 at TopSport for Taylor Gooch. And who's your lay? Who are you going to put the pen through? Is it Rahm at the short quote, or Rory, as you sort of suggested earlier?
It's probably the safest one for me that put the line through is Victor Hovland. There'll be people that'll like him. He went to Oklahoma State, so they're going to think that he stacks up well to be here. But he's chipping, and he'll self-proclaim it. He's very, very poor. Now, if he gets that right, he might go okay because the rest of his game's super. But his chipping is probably one of the worst on tour. He's ranked 210 in strokes gained around the green this year, which is very, very poor. So at $23, I wouldn't have him that sharp at all.
I like that angle too. So the masses are going to think that he's a sniff. You're just going to sink the boots into him. What about you, Toprope? Best roughie and LA?
Yeah, Roughie, I'll kill with a roughie. I'm going to go with Chilean Meadow Pereira. Ranks top 15 in strokes gained approach and in scrambling. Look, he's probably unlikely to win this, but around the 200-1 quote. But you can certainly see him kind of finishing in the top 20, top 40 marks. I think there's plenty of value there. A couple of other roughies I'll be looking to back, but I want to make official plays. Keith Mitchell and Alex Noren, I think, are decent chances. Best bet. I love Shane Lowry with Big Dad in this one, but best bet from mine, Colin Morikawa. You mentioned him early. Absolutely love his iron game, ball strike. Obviously, renowned as one of the best ball strikers on tour, but particularly good with his really long irons as well. So, the kind of knock on him is his putting, but a bit like Jordan Spieth, has the kind of wide kind of variance to be a horrible putter one week and then kind of get hot. And his record in majors to stage career is sublime. 9 majors, 2 wins, 3 more top 8s. Absolutely remarkable. So, Colin Morikawa for mine. In terms of a lay, I found this like a little difficult in terms of, I have no interest in kind of anywhere short, so I'm kind of off. And I know Big Daddy like Daniel Berger. He's just too short from the tee for me to really contend. I think nearly everyone in the last decade has hit over 300 yards from the tee, and he averages around the 289 mark. For mine, probably Dustin Johnson. I just don't think he's going well enough. I think his form is ordinary. I don't particularly like his ball striking at the moment, and his short game is struggling as well. So happy to lay Deja.
All right, that's the definite common theme, and that's Big Daddy. So I'll just repeat his. So it's his biggest lays is DJ and Brooks. His bolter is Billy Horschel, and then Lowry's is definitely his best value bet. And just looking at his model here, Scheffler, McIlroy, and Cam Smith rank pretty highly. So if you want to play around those shorties and line up with Dogga on one of those, and Toprope obviously has found Lowry too, that will be the way that we'll be cheering and playing here. I might just relay a couple of bets from TopSport. They're not massive compared to the US Masters, and probably caught a lot of punters asleep at the wheel here. But the first one is Jordan Spieth, $500 at $20, which looks like a ticket that we wouldn't mind holding. Justin Thomas, $750 at $17. You've got Cantlay, $500 at $21, and then Hovland, $500 at $26. So we might lay the last two. And let's talk about Justin Thomas a little bit here. Seems like we haven't given him much airtime, but he's definitely deep in the market. They're sitting around that $17, $18 quote. Dogga?
Yeah, no, he's one of the bets I took last week. A little early market on Justin Thomas and Cam Smith. So he, for me, stacks up perfectly. He is the best all-round golfer in the world. Make no mistake, every day of the week, everything he does, he's the best at. Just the problem with being the best is when Morikawa has a weak putting, he clips you by a couple of shots. So I think Justin Thomas can be right in it. The biggest knock on him is he just hasn't done anything in majors outside of the one win that he had, which was 6 years ago at the PGA. He hasn't really performed. He sort of does a little bit like Rory has done the last few years, where he throws in one bad round and then spends 3 rounds or 2 rounds trying to catch up. So if he can get away well, I think it'll give him confidence, and I think he can be right in the mix.
Toprope?
Yeah, I'll back him as well. Completely concur with what Donna said there. On one, I think his game is elite. Like he runs 15 strokes gained approach, 15 scrambling. If you kind of take those two as the key guides here, he's clearly the top selection. Yeah, Dorian, he ranks second in putting average. Yeah, he's won at TPC Sawgrass. Yeah, another guy here. My only concern with him is how he goes on not only majors but on major tracks. His one major did come on a regular PGA Tour stop. I know the setup was different and all that stuff. So how he kind of handles these long, difficult courses, and the other concern with him, I guess, is his temperament. Yeah, he can spit the dummy. But yeah, I like Thomas this week. There was a scorecard between Thomas and Morikawa for mine. So definitely on and King.
Outstanding stuff. All right, we might keep it short and sharp this week, but to summarise, or me just reading in between the lines here, I think I'll have to be on Cam Smith, Morikawa, and then Lowry might be the bolter there. And if you're looking much wider, Mito Pereira at 176, and then Taylor Gooch might be a good bet at 101. And then the top 20 market, I think he hung around for a bit early in the US Masters and sort of knocked up a bit there late. But that would be the way they're playing, and definitely put a line through DJ, recently married, so he's probably been eye off the ball. But that's it. I think that's a wrap from us, but we'll be here for the next one. I think it's Open Championship next, is it?
Open Championship, St Andrews.
St Andrews, can't wait for that one. It'll be an absolute beauty.
150th, be a very, very big one.
All right, Toprope.
Oh, thank you very much, lads. What an absolute treat there. I have to say my 4 favourite meetings of the year are the 4 majors with you fellas, so absolute treat.
Outstanding stuff. And make sure if you're having a bet in the golf this week, check out TopSport. They're Australia's biggest betting bookie. They've been in the game for over 35 years, and they support our shows and our streams, and they take on all the big bets. We've got some very exciting news for golf coming up, and you'll see it all through our channel. So make sure you hit up at Little Birdie TV and head to our website, littlebirdie.live, because there's big things about to happen in the space of golf at Little Birdie TV. So we can't wait to tell you what it is. We'll see you next time.